Welcome to another episode of the Three Bozos podcast, minus one bozo. There's only two here tonight. We got Pizain the Pizain, and he is Brooksy boy. What's going on, buddy?
Hey man, how you doing? It feels like I've been away from the show for far too long. Even though the last time I was on here was a couple weeks ago, but it feels a lot longer than that. So it's good to be back.
Good to have you back, man. Yeah, I know it has felt like longer than 2 weeks, but that's all it's been. So good to have you back. And so, what happened to you last week, buddy? Why'd you miss the show?
Well, originally my wife and daughter and I had plans to go visit a couple friends in Temple, Texas. We live of course, just north of Houston. We were going to go visit a couple friends that live in Temple, which is about an hour north of Austin. But our daughter got sick, and then almost at the same time, I got what she had. So we kind of had to push that trip back to this weekend instead. So we kind of stayed behind, stayed at home, wrote it out, and I'm feeling better. I got some meds in me over this past week, and other than that, it's just been a matter of recovering from that. Doing my 9 to 5 job, which our work week was absolutely insanely ridiculous. I did 1 out of 10 don't recommend it. It was pretty brutal this week. So I have a lovely little beer right here that I'm going to be consuming throughout the show as a way to treat myself for the long week at work. We took my mother-in-law out to dinner tonight for her birthday. That
Oh,
barbecue
nice.
place that we went to when you guys were in town for my wedding?
Yeah, that place was really good.
Yeah, we went there for dinner and it was delicious as always. Really can't beat Texas barbecue. It's so good.
Yeah. I gotta
But yeah,
say
that's
one
pretty
thing about
much
Texas, man. Barbecue
yeah,
is
that
delicious.
yeah, the barbecue and the Mexican food out here is absolutely fantastic. So if you're ever in Texas, I highly recommend both. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to over the past week, and I've of course been I got to listen to the episode with you and Javi, and then I've been listening to your I guess bonus podcasts. So those have been pretty entertaining as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think those are more for me. They're a lot of fun. I like getting on there every single day, reading the news, getting a little bit of the view of what's in Wizane the Pizane's life, I don't know. It's like therapy for me. It's kind of fun.
When I've listened to it, it does sound very therapeutic. It sounds like you're just kind of it's your chance to like unwind, relax, and just kind of get stuff off your chest. So I kind of dig that vibe.
That's kind of what I'm throwing down. So that's cool, man. That's good.
By the way, I'm also
Yeah,
digging this vibe as well right here. Oh yeah. Boom. Crack
nice,
open the beer, baby.
nice. Crack that bitch open. Yeah, I had my indulgence earlier tonight. We went to sushi, like I've discussed before on the podcast. Had our sushi boat, and I definitely had some hot sake and some Sapporo. And then once we got home, I had some champagne that we had, in the
Oh.
fridge. So yeah, but that was a little while ago. I've sobered up a little bit since then, but I might be a little loosey goosey while we're doing this thing. No problem with that, right?
Right, right. And my wife's in the living room. She decided that she was going to crack open a beer since she's had a pretty busy week at work as well. So alcohol all around tonight.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. It's a weekend. You know what? What else are you gonna do on the weekend?
Exactly. Could not agree
All right,
more
man.
on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's a long weekend too. We got a holiday
Hell
weekend.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, you got off work on Monday?
Oh yeah. Well, I have work my shift I am off on Sundays and Mondays, so we're getting those of us that work Sunday, Monday, we're getting Tuesday off instead. So essentially it's like a 3-day weekend, just a different 3 days than most people.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, I got off on this Monday as well, so I will be doing my thing this weekend. I think we're gonna go. This is how old we are. I think we're gonna do some antiquing this weekend. We got
Oh, man.
yeah. Yeah.
You gonna
We've
go
been
to Bed
looking
Bath and
for
Beyond? You even gonna have enough time?
not gonna have enough time. I don't know. Oh man.
We are
So yeah, I think
now.
we're good.
Remember when that movie came out? It was just like, wow, how
Oh
lame is
geez.
that? And now 20 years later, we're those guys.
Yep. Yep, that is us, man. That's what we do now. Oh man. Well, hey, dude, let's just jump right into it. The big controversy this week, if anybody's paying attention to the news, it is the most famous person, the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, not Patrick Mahomes, not Travis Kelce, not Andy Reid. No, we are talking about the one, the only, Harrison Butker. You cannot go to a news cycle and not see this guy's speech everywhere. So I'll just go straight to you, Brooks. How much you been paying attention to the whole Harrison and Buckner thing?
I mean, it's pretty difficult to avoid it. It's like you said, it's dominating all the news cycles. It's just everywhere. Everywhere you look at it, everybody's got an opinion on it. It's been really, really divisive. I mean, that's that's the way I would describe it right offhand. And I mean, it's really just a short snippet of his speech that's got everybody's attention. But I would say overall, the only one of his comments that I'd actually agree with, and basically in terms of the comments that have generated controversy, is where he says, like men should be men, men should, I guess face their problems, that kind of thing. That I can understand. When he starts veering off into saying that women should not focus on their careers and basically just kind of saying they should just stay home and have kids and do housework and that kind of thing. You got to evolve, man. I mean, I mean, it's not the 1950s or 60s anymore. It just made him sound very tone deaf. It made him sound very old fashioned. Kind of like not
Hmm.
stuck with the times. And I know that that's not like the gist of his entire speech, but I mean, in terms of what has caught the most attention, that's kind of the way I see it. Is that it's not the best look necessarily, especially when he's been invited to speak at this college, and it's just I don't know. To me, it's just not the best look. And I know athletes often, people say, well, athletes should speak their minds and do this. And then when they do, people are like, no, no, don't say it like that. Well, I don't know. Some athletes, I'm just like, I don't really care to hear what you have to say. It's like, dude, you're a kicker. You're not a
Yeah.
superstar. You're not like a face of the sport or anything. You're a fucking kicker, man. I don't really care what you have to say. It's like I don't really. Why are you saying this stuff about women, and why are you putting all of this out there? I mean, I think he was trying to say one thing, and it just kind of the way it came out was very clumsy and kind of poorly delivered on his part. And of course, now he's getting ripped to shreds for it, and he has his opinion, and he's entitled to that. But when you do put your opinion out there and you're a public figure, you can't really get mad when there's a big segment of the population that's going to disagree with what you have to say on that particular subject.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. To your point, he is an NFL kicker. He makes a lot of money. So for him to say that is kind of easy because, well, she can. She has the option to be a homemaker, while he makes a lot of money being an NFL star. Even as a kicker, you're still an NFL star making a lot of money. Having said that, I watched the whole 20-minute thing. 10 minutes of the 20 minutes is him just talking about COVID and how people in authority had robbed the students of their normal experiences, by COVID mandates and things like that. Um, Now we can get into a whole nother discussion about COVID now that we're kind of separated from that, looking back on the decisions that were made and how maybe some of those weren't exactly the best decisions and how some of the information we had was not, well, was not correct. Just put it bluntly. It wasn't right. We can save that for another time. Back to Harrison Buckner. The whole portion of his speech about women was about 30 seconds of the 20 minutes. Um, he said, I don't think he ever really said that women shouldn't pursue their careers. I think he was implying that women should not make that their entire existence, not make that their goal in life, their number one goal, and that uh, being a mother and a wife could give them more happiness than any promotion could. I think some of that, you're right, Brooks. I think some of that came off clumsily. And I also think that you have people in the media who are kind of giving that larger microphone than it deserves, twisting it a bit. Um, but I mean, he did say what he did said. What he said. He was invited to give that speech by the college. It is a Catholic college with conservative beliefs. Even I was watching Jon Stewart this week on The Daily Show. You know, he does one episode a week on The Daily Show, probably trying to give them ratings because they've sucked ever since, he quit and Trevor Noah took over. And now you got a bunch of nobodies and Jon Stewart pretty much that do the show. We can get to that a little bit later. I got something on Trevor Noah a little later. We'll get to that. But he even said, talking about the outrage that people were having for Harrison Buckner, and he goes, he gave a conservative speech to a conservative Catholic college, you know? So even you got Jon Stewart, who usually takes the side of the left. He can become somewhat central, but he's even saying that. Then again, later he talked about how it's easy for him to say that, discourage women from having careers and being $100,000 in debt. So, um, it's a multifaceted issue. It's not so black and white, I think, as people are saying.
Yeah, it's definitely very touchy. There's more layers to it than what often gets presented, but it's just that when the way I see it is when you're going to talk about something like that in a very public forum, you do have to word yourself very, very carefully because let's face it, it can easily get skewed by the media or it can be misunderstood by people that are either looking for ways to twist words or that don't quite get what you're saying, or maybe they're just not smart enough to get what you're saying and they misconstrue the whole thing. It's just one of those topics where it's so easy to get yourself tripped up and to get yourself in trouble. I mean, my
Sure.
big point is, it seems like why go there? That's the main point that I was making earlier is, why go there when it's such a topic that could easily be misconstrued and torn apart? And I know he was saying that this was a conservative message for a conservative Catholic crowd. I get that, but when it kind of goes public, guess what? It's out there, and the feeding frenzy is going to begin. So, I just think that it's he's definitely entitled to his opinion, but the way it was put out there probably should have there probably should have been more care taken into how he worded his message. That I think that's the big take that I have from it.
Yeah, yeah, and I would agree with you on that. Um, we live in a day and age now where, yeah, everything's twisted. I think you can attribute a lot of that to Donald Trump. When he got elected in 2016, it seems like everything got twisted and it just got worse and worse after that. And I'm not just talking about the people twisting his words, I'm talking about the people defending him as well for his twisted words. The guy goes both ways. He's one of the most
Yep.
divisive people in the country. And it has completely changed the way that the news reports, that people think, the divisiveness of just society in general. And I think it's just been a domino effect into every other aspect of our lives. And this is just another example of that.
Yeah, it's the way it is it's everybody, and I've talked about this on one of our previous episodes, how people just pick a side and dig in. They pick a side, dig in. They don't consider other people's opinions. They don't consider the other side. listening to other viewpoints nowadays, especially on social media, which is why I try to stay off there as much as I humanly can, because everybody just has their opinion. They're not going to get swayed from it, and they're going to dig in and fight it to the death, no matter what, whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether no matter what side it is. It's like they just want to you know defend it to the death, and it's just sadly it's the way it is with society nowadays. And social media, I think, has really amplified that over the last, I'd say, 15 years or so.
Yep. Yep. We can blame it all on social media. It's twisted our brains all up. So, hey, how about we go into something a little lighter? I know you got something you want to talk about involving college football.
Well, I know you and I are both big football fans. I know NFL and college to a degree as well. Well, recently in NCAA football, there was a ruling that came down where the NCAA and the power conferences have basically approved a settlement that kind of paves the way for players to be directly paid by schools. Now, if you've paid attention to college football a lot over the last several years or so, it's really since the summer of 2021 when everything really changed for good. Basically, that's when NIL, name, image, and likeness, was allowed to be basically was given to athletes as a way to make money off their name, image, and likeness, where they could go out and, instead of, unlike the old days where they couldn't get a job or they couldn't make any sort of money off their name and their image and their likeness, now they could do that. And then, of course, you had the transfer portal come in. I mean, now there's unlimited transfers. There's a lot more player empowerment in college football and in college sports in general. Really, it's one of those things that's just kind of, to me, it's been a long time coming. The NCAA model of amateurism has basically kind of been bullshit for decades. It was like you could get NCAA sanctions if you accepted like a gift so if you were an athlete and you accepted gifts or accepted something free from somebody. And now it's not a big deal anymore, which I think it's about time, that everybody kind of evolved. And this recent settlement is now saying that there's I guess, like a certain amount that schools can pay players directly if they so choose. So it's kind of a landmark decision. Of course, it still has to be approved by a judge, but all these conferences are now in the process of settling these antitrust cases that have come along, and it's really seen as sort of a landmark day for college sports, especially college football, since that's one of the big money makers when it comes to collegiate athletics. So it's a new day, it's a different day, and a lot of people are saying, with NIL and with the transfer portal and now with players being able to make money, it's like, well, it's the end of college football. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're all still going to watch. We're all still going to tune in on Saturdays. People that say that, oh, I'm not going to watch anymore, those are just angry boomers that, don't like change. Guess what? It's a new day. Things are changing. It's going to evolve. Time to suck it up and get over it and move on. So
That's
I don't know. What do you think about with college athletes now, basically, in the last couple of years, being able to kind of make money off their own name, image, and likeness and things like that?
I do agree. I think it is a long time coming for them to make money on their own likeness. I kind of see where the NCAA is coming from before. You want to have an even playing field as much as possible with some of these things, and we get the bigger schools being able to pay players. That's something that they're wanting to avoid, and why they're so strict on this in the past. Even though you had boosters and ways around it, it was kind of a facade, honestly. It never really was, a even playing field. So it's like, hey, if there are no rules, we might as well let these kids get paid, especially on your own likeness. If you're getting paid on your own merit, like who was the football player? Oh, there was something to do with tattoos.
Oh, Terrell Pryor.
Yes, Terrell Pryor. Yes, yeah, and he got in a lot of trouble for that. Now, refresh me on the story again.
That happened, I think, in like 2010, 2011, where he and a few other players at Ohio State, I think, were essentially hooked up with free tattoos from a local tattoo parlor, and they got busted for it. And the NCAA found out about it, and there was like there was like an investigation into it. And of course, Ohio State got slapped with some with sanctions at the time. And that's just one of like many, examples of things, that have happened where, like stuff like that now, it's not an issue, not an issue whatsoever. I think the most famous example of players being paid when it was against the rules was back in the 80s when SMU got hit with the death penalty and basically had their entire football program shut down, and then they returned but with all different players, and the program was hit with sanctions that were so hard that they weren't the same for gosh almost 30 years, and it took them almost that long to kind of rebound, and now they're finally back on the up and up again. But the stuff that they got in trouble for, like basically paying players under the table, giving them gifts and stuff, that stuff is it's no problem now, but back then it was considered, the kiss of death, and it kind of was. That's the most famous example of a program getting slapped with big time sanctions. But I wanted
Mhm.
to kind of look at this most recent settlement. According to this is from the Athletic. They have a quick story about it that says the Big 12 was the first of the suit's defendants to vote on the settlement terms, with the remaining power conferences and NCAA Board of Governors also expected to do so this week. Settlement details are expected to include north of $2.7 billion in back pay damages the NCAA will owe to former Division I athletes, as well as a future revenue sharing model between power conference schools and athletes, according to sources
Wow.
briefed on the negotiations. The damages made available to Division I athletes dating back to 2016 as back pay for lost name, image, and likeness earning opportunities would likely be paid out over 10 years via a combination of NCAA reserve funds and reductions in future revenue distributions to conferences. The damages payment model that is being voted on is a slightly tweaked version of the original breakdown put forth by the NCAA. A college administrator briefed on the proposal told The Athletic, in which the NCAA is expected to cover roughly 1.1 billion in damages, and the power conferences would be responsible for roughly 40% of the remaining damages. That's despite internal dissension within the NCAA in recent days, as the smaller non-FBS Division I conferences argue that the proposed funding plan puts a disproportionate financial responsibility on them. Basically, what it comes down to is that the revenue sharing model is an optional model for power conference programs that potentially as soon as next year, in which 22% of those schools' average annual revenue, or roughly 20 million a year, would be distributable directly to athletes.
So it's like a reparations kind of thing, and then a payment plan after that.
Pretty much, and this is not even that's not even under name, image, and likeness. I mean that athletes can earn right now. I mean this is basically, and this is considered almost like a next step for these colleges, where there's talk that the next step could be that the players could unionize, and maybe the like instead of just having scholarships, there's also contracts with these schools where they might get paid so much amount a year, which could also possibly maybe kind of slow down some of the movement in the transfer portal, because that's been a big talking point in college sports, particularly college football recently, is just the amount of movement in the transfer portal every year. You're thinking maybe if there's actual contracts with these players, maybe that incentivizes them to stay at a particular school longer instead of just bouncing around from school to school to school.
Yeah, that seems to be happening very very frequently. I remember like once you were out of school, you were pretty much stuck at that school regardless. And then seems fairly recently, like you just said, you could jump from school to school to school. Um, that transfer portal is kind of gone out of control. But what I could see with this happening is this could affect the pro league later too. This could once you start getting with money and contracts and unions and things like that, then you could get different leagues. The NFL might not be the only league out there. I know we have the XFL, USFL merger thing now. That could be another league now. That could, if it stays viable, that's something that could get some backing with money, and people would take the highest contract available, not just what the draft status is. That's what happened with Larry Zonka back in the 70s. You might have seen the Miami Dolphins win more than just two Super Bowls, a perfect season, and then the season after that, if Larry Zonka and some other players didn't go to another league, we could be seeing a repeat of that, in the next, I don't know, 10 years or so.
And I've noticed as well, it seems like there's also more players in college that are maybe not declaring for the draft right away, especially if, say, they're like a borderline prospect. Maybe, you're might be seeing more players that might have entered the draft and, with a chance of being maybe a second or third day pick. Now they have a chance to maybe stay in school a little bit longer, have a big NIL deal, make more money than what you make as like league minimum, say as like a sixth or seventh round pick. Now, this isn't going to stop like the big name prospects from declaring early and going out in the draft every year. I mean, if chances are, if you're going to be a first or second round pick and you get a chance to leave school early, odds are they're going to do that anyway. I mean, the best players are going to still make their money regardless. So they're going to, if they've got a chance to jump in the NFL, they'll do that. But I mean, I mean, I think we're seeing a big difference with, players now that maybe would have, taken a chance going into the draft. Now it's like, hey, I can stay in school for another year, develop my skills a little bit more, make a decent chunk of change with an NIL deal through a school's, a collective that's affiliated with their current school, and then boost their draft stock a little bit and then go to the draft. I mean, there's just there's been a lot more moving parts with college football in the last couple of years with the portal and with NIL. And I think what made a lot of people upset as well about it is a lot of fans saying, "Oh, it's just not the same anymore." I think it's the fact that it all happened at once and it just kind of became the Wild West out there, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, there's so much change, there's so much new shit going on." People were just like overwhelmed by it. But now it's like we've kind of gotten used to it, and the thing is, it hasn't ruined college sports. The ratings are still as high as ever. People still watch. People are still tuning into their TVs on Saturdays to watch, their favorite school, their alma maters, go up against, whoever on a certain Saturday, and, getting out the beer and the snacks, or going to the tailgates, going to the games. People are still watching. I mean, that's the thing. It hasn't meant the death of college football. It's just a little bit, actually a lot different now, but I mean, it's still at the core, at its very core, it's the same sport. It's just there's a little bit more stuff. Basically, stuff that was under the table is now out in the open, and I don't think that there's really anything wrong with that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to change college football very much. If anything, things are more exciting now. I mean, you saw that hype with Deion Sanders in Colorado. That was like the talk of college football the first, whatever half of the season before, they decided to shit the bed, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, college football is just as exciting as it always has been. It's not going away. You're right. Things might be a little different, but you're right. Still going to watch their favorite teams on Saturdays. But let's get into something else on that. How does this affect the new college football Madden type game that's going to be coming out?
Well, NCAA Football 25 is coming out on July 19th for PS5 and for was it Xbox, the latest Xbox. I don't own an Xbox, so whatever the latest iteration of the
360,
Xbox
the
is.
720, the 98. We don't fucking
For the
know what it
S
is now.
series, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know either. But either way, it's the most recent gen systems. It's going to be out for that. And the reason why it went away in the first place was, it was when the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit happened back in, I think it was around 2012, 2013. He was a former UCLA basketball player. He said, why aren't our names in these games? And he sued. And with this lawsuit ongoing, EA Sports didn't really want to, open themselves up to, I guess, any sort of litigation. I don't know exactly all the details about it, But it's essentially that lawsuit was the impetus behind the NCAA franchise going on hiatus for over a decade. The last time that there was an NCAA game that came out was in July of 2013. So, and it used to be like a almost yearly tradition for me. Every July, I'd get the new NCAA game, and being that you couldn't have players' names in it, it was always like QB number 12 or RB number 32 or something like that.
Mhm.
Well, it used to be if you were like in the PlayStation 2 days, you could find these websites where you'd pay like somebody 20, $25 and they'd ship you a memory card with the actual names on the rosters and you just upload it into your system. And then when the PS3 came along, they would actually email you a file that you could upload via USB onto your PS3 and you could do it that way. And it was awesome. I did that like,
Yeah.
almost every time I played the game and it was great. It just made a world of difference. And now we don't have to worry about that anymore because all the players' names pretty much are that opted in are gonna be in the game anyway. So you don't have to worry about paying for an extra file or anything like that. It's just part of the game itself. And I mean, granted, I want a PS5. I don't have one right now. I might have to sweet talk my wife and be like, hey, I want to get a PS5. Maybe you okay with that? I don't know how I'm going to finagle that, but I'll have to lay the groundwork, start laying the groundwork now and see what happens.
Well, I have one, and they are pretty dope. Just gotta tell you.
Yeah, it was like we couldn't get one for so long. It was like you basically had to perform like a voodoo sacrifice and, sacrifice, one of your limbs or sell an organ on the black market even just to find a location that might have a PS5.
Yeah.
So it took a while. I think that's why I never got one for the longest time was because it just didn't seem like it was worth the effort.
You know how I'll tell you how I got mine. I had to join a Discord server that was just all about tech. And whenever a PlayStation shipment would drop to like a store, they would send a mass announcement to everybody in the server. And then you would have to, this is the way I had to do mine. They're like, okay, you have to go through it's like step by step by step by step by step to get it. For me, it was like, okay, you had to join Walmart Plus, which is their premium app service. It's like getting Amazon Prime, for Walmart. You had to get that. And then at exactly 11 a.m., you had to be on the app. You had to press a button that would populate, putting you in a waiting list for that day. If you were in the waiting list in the top 100 for the 100 that they had in stock at that point, then they would deliver it. You could buy it and they could deliver it to you. Like that, or that's and they were sold out within 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I happened to somehow jump in, get it, and yeah, I think I was like number like 80 something out of 100, so I got mine. But it was ridiculous, man, and that was like my fourth or fifth attempt at trying to get one too, So, but now, yeah, I guess you can get them pretty easily now. So.
Yeah, I was kind of checking around on Amazon recently. I saw them on there. And I saw that you could like make the monthly payments. I'm like, ooh, that's very tempting. Oh, that's so tempting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that process goes in the future. But yeah, I haven't really been playing all that many video games lately. I guess, life just kind of takes over, especially when you're married and you got a kid and you got a regular job. It's kind of tough to kind of keep track of video games. And with me just having, the old PS4, that thing is just now like I don't even think that they're putting any bandwidth on the server because the last couple of times I've tried to play my PS4, it's just real choppy and it's not very smooth at all. And I'm like, yeah, this kind of sucks. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. I don't really get much time to play it, even though I do have the PS5 and it is pretty dope. I don't have much time to play it either. Uh, this podcast takes a lot of my time up, and when I'm not doing the podcast, and this is after we put our kid to sleep. My wife and I, well, my wife, we get
my life.
probably we get probably I don't know 2 or 3 hours after the kid goes to sleep for free time, and we end up like we'll watch a show together, or like I said, I'll be doing the podcast. Litany of other things. And so video games are usually pretty low on my list until a new game comes out, then I'll be obsessed with it for like a month and, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I think the last one was Diablo 4. And then I lost interest in that as well. But
Yeah, I think the last game that I really played like long term that I put like a lot of time into was I think Horizon Forbidden West. And that's because it came out about 8 months before my daughter was born. So I actually had a little bit of time, but also like no, I think it took me about 4 months to finally beat it. Normally it would take me about 2 months to go through a game like that and do everything. Being, that I was, of course, now married by the time I was engaged, at that time I was like, yeah, I'll get some time here and there. I think it took me about 4 months to finally get through like everything in that game. But yeah, that's the way of trying to game when you actually have a life outside of video games. So yeah, it's not quite
yeah.
as on my radar as it used to be, but I do have to confess I would really really like to get my hands on NCAA 25 because I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. That does look like a lot of fun. Well, from football and from video games to TV shows and cartoons, I'm gonna play you a theme song from a cartoon that we used to watch back in the '90s, and I want you, and it's gonna be very familiar to you. You're gonna know who it is, but I want you to tell me what famous person created this song. Okay?
All right.
Hey. Say ya.
We just got bombarded with Javi. He jumped in and jumped out.
Wow. Was not expecting that at all. Oh, I think you hit play to play the song, and then he jumped right in. No, I swear to our listeners, that was not planned at all. Not at all.
I was like chumming the waters for the fish that you're trying to catch. And I played a cartoon from the '90s, and here comes Hav. Hey! Oh,
It's like putting
man.
out the bat signal for him. Oh my god, that was great.
So that's the song. Could you hear it?
No, you're gonna have to probably play it again because he jumped right in at like the same time.
All right. I'm gonna have to do some heavy editing, but all right. Let's start again.
All right.
Is it not coming through?
It's not coming through, man.
Okay, I will do this another way. I'll edit all this shit out. Okay, so
Okay.
back in the '90s, there was a Spider-Man animated show. Did you ever watch it? It came on around the same time X-Men did.
Yeah, I caught a handful of episodes. I didn't watch it as religiously as I did the X-Men cartoon, but I did
Yeah,
catch a couple episodes back in the day.
along the same side, lines as the X-Men, same kind of animation, same kind of feel to it. And the theme song in the beginning was, and I just realized this, I just found this out today, was written by Joe Perry of Aerosmith. He wrote the theme song
Really?
for
Okay.
it. Yeah. So doing that, it basically brought me down a rabbit hole of other famous theme songs and who wrote them. So I got a list for you here, Brooksy boy,
All right.
and I want to get your thoughts on it. We'll start. I know you've seen Entourage before, right?
I have seen Entourage, yes. I'm trying to remember how the
Yeah.
theme went to Entourage.
It's a very distinct voice with Entourage. That's Jane's Addiction.
Really? Okay.
Yep. We know Jane's Addiction. Here you go. This is one. I don't know. I don't know how I didn't know this one when the show came out. It was Dog the Bounty Hunters. You know who sang the Dog the Bounty Hunter theme?
That I do not know.
That would be Ozzy Osbourne.
What?
Yeah, Ozzy
Okay.
Osbourne. Then we have the TV show. You remember All That? Came on Nickelodeon on Snick.
Hey!
And look who just joined us again.
Hey, if you're gonna join us, Hoff, stick with us this time. Hey, the three bozos are back again.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys talking about?
I think we're gonna kill this segment. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
going through some famous shows we used to watch back in the day and the theme songs and how famous people wrote the theme songs and you didn't even know it. Like the Spider-Man 90s cartoon we used to watch, Joe Perry
Yeah.
from Aerosmith. Yeah, Joe Perry from Aerosmith wrote that.
Oh, hell yeah. I think I heard that before.
Oh yeah. Well, now you've heard it again.
Yeah, no,
Brooksy
for sure.
Brooksy boy, all that, just to wrap it up, all that was sang by TLC.
Okay, yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
All that from Nickelodeon?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's TLC.
It's
Last night.
all that. It's all that.
That's right. Yeah, that's TLC.
Lori Beth
Last.
Stenberg. Amanda Bynes.
That's right, Amanda Bynes before she went crazy.
Keenan and Kel.
Last. Good burger, buddy. So last one before I get off of this topic because it's kind of been a dud. So the 90s X-Men song that you said you would run through a fucking wall for, Brooks.
Yes.
That guy made another theme song of another very famous kid show that came on. I would say maybe a year or two after we stopped getting into that kind of, started getting into more adultish kind of shows. And that would be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. I didn't know
That was made by the same guy who did the X-Men theme song.
Kind of the same vibe. I can see I can see where the inspiration was very similar.
Yep. I know. Once you think about it, you're got that same guitar, same thing to it. So Hav, thank you for joining us tonight. We kind of went through with Brooksy boy where he was like, "What have you been up to tonight, bud?"
I'm at my buddy's garage right now. Tater. We're hanging out. I'm talking through my phone right now. Say ya.
Yeah, so you decided to basically swat us, just like jump right into our podcast and be like, "Hey."
Yeah. I just saw you guys online. I was talking to him about the podcast, and he was listening to it on Apple Podcasts, and I was like, "Oh, they're on fucking Discord right now. I'm joining."
It's like Wedding
dude.
Crashers.
Yeah, I just crashed the podcast.
Oh man.
How long you guys been
Yeah,
going?
dude. No, so we're going on like 30, 45 minutes now.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
Oh shit! What the heck?
Yep.
I'm actually surprised to see you guys still on here. To be honest, 10:48 past the bedtime, man.
We're old men.
Yeah, we are old geezers. Usually
Yeah.
I'm slowly winding down right about this time on most nights.
Yeah, I'm halfway delusional because I'm tired as hell, bud. But
Oh yeah, man. Hey, join us for one segment here, Hav. If you got time.
yeah. P Diddy hashtag Diddy did it. Another thing, one more thing before you go on. I want to publicly announce and challenge LeBron James to a game of 21. I'll fucking destroy that pussy. All right.
I got my money on you, bud.
Oh
See
my
ya,
God.
LeBron.
All right, go ahead, ask me, bud.
All right, so this I'm not even gonna title this anything clever. This is just celebrities you hate. You know,
Okay.
I'm watching a commercial of a new show coming out, and fucking there's Patton Oswalt. I hate that little motherfucking Danny DeVito looking motherfucker so much, man. I hate fucking Patton Oswalt. He is such a little fucking bitch. I
Who's
hate
Pat
how he's
Oswalt?
everywhere on my TV. You don't know who Patton Oswalt is?
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, look it up, dude. He's everywhere. He's on everything. Fucking hate Patton Oswalt.
Pat Oswalt.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
So
Go for it, Brooks.
you just hate the guy.
Who do you, who do you hate,
Oh,
Brooks?
hey, that guy's from. Wait, what's he on?
I don't know, fucking Javier. You're the one who jumped in and ruined our segment.
What's he? What's he on? What? Oh, the King of Queens. That's what he's on.
Is that
No,
what
that's
he was
Kevin
on?
James.
I think he was on King of Queens though, as like a side
Yeah,
character.
he was on King of Queens.
Oh,
What's
was
he
he?
known for though?
Yeah, he was on like Agents of Shield. He's done a lot of voice work. You know,
Why
the guy
do you
like
hate him?
a lot of reasons, man. He's like one of those Twitter warriors too. Like he'll just get on Twitter and like basically like try to bash people and everything. But aside from that, he's just a whiny little bitch that just keeps getting work, and I don't know why. He's like the white, fat, short Samuel L. Jackson without the swagger. That's what he is.
What the hell? Yeah.
Anyway,
Tell
He's
us how
been-
you
Yeah.
really feel there, Wayne.
I fucking hate him.
I hate that guy. Oh
I got
man.
a list here. We got more to get to, but you guys go. What about you, Brooks? Who do you hate?
Never been the biggest Rosie O'Donnell fan.
Oh, Robert
I,
Kardashian.
I don't know. There's just something like I know she hadn't been like on. I haven't seen her in much of anything like lately, but when she was like really popular, I don't know. She's just really annoying. Like she's just really just in your face, loud, obnoxious. I just wasn't a fan. That's the first one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, she's kind of a bitch.
What about you, Javier? Which celebrity are you not a fan of?
Fucking LeBron
Celebrities.
James.
Jabroni James calling himself the GOAT. Get out of here, you bum. Nobody can call themselves the best. Everyone around them calls them the best. And no one's called him the best because he's trash. I'll fucking beat his ass game of 21. 7-0 skunk, get off my court, bitch. Freaking Brooks is, because I can see Brooks's face. I see Wizay. Oh, now I see Wayne. Hey, fuck
Hey.
you, hey.
Hey,
For those
hey.
that can't see the video right now, Wayne just flashed Javier the bird.
Hey, so I still got a list here. Fucking Brie Larson. Fucking hate Brie Larson. She got some nice titties. But other than that, fuck Brie Larson. She has no ass and she's a bitch.
What? She's a bitch? I didn't know this. I didn't know that.
No, she's a huge bitch, man. Look, she has like she's notorious for being a bitch, ruining like sets, the vibe on the set. She's difficult to work with. And then she tried to do this like whole like kind of weird feminist movement that not even feminists, like real feminists, agree with. I'm not gonna get into that too much. I don't really care about that as much. She ruined the Marvel universe, and just like you're ruining our podcast with this background fucking music coming out in the back. What the fuck is going on over there? You rubbing the
What
thing
is
on your asshole?
What music? Is it you hear a fan?
No, I hear like a.
It's like it sounds like you're underwater.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh.
I really need to get a video aspect of the pod going because right now we're looking up Javier's nose.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, real talk. How high are you right now?
Do we lose him?
I think did we lose Bo? Hey, Bose, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on.
Hold on. Always fucking hold on.
It's always hold on.
You hold on. Hold on to these nuts. Come on,
Does
get on here.
that change anything?
Change what? I don't know what you're changing. You sound the same.
Yeah, we saw you on video, and now we can't see you anymore.
I'm talking about the background noise.
You sound good.
Yeah, I don't
You're
hear.
good.
Yeah, I don't hear anything in the background now. We're all good there.
Fucking outer space, man.
I'm not okay. I'm back. I'm not at all, buddy. I'm old Tater here. He's had what? A couple Bruce. Have you had any brewskis yet? I just got here, so
Just you're naturally out in outer space.
this is me. This is me. This is me. 100% tired as feck.
Tired and delirious.
Yeah.
Yes, delirious. Yes.
All right. Well, I just want to get to one more. Amy Schumer. Hate that bitch. Anyway, that's it. That's all. That's the segment. That's all I had.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, she's cunt.
Yeah. I don't know her personally. Big booty.
Yeah, my wife went to one of her comedy shows, and she stopped doing comedy, and basically just started like dressing down everybody. I think this was right around the time Trump got elected. So she was basically like saying, if you voted for Trump, get the fuck out of here. And like everybody started, like half the people started leaving, and she's like yelling at them as they were leaving. And she basically just used it as a platform to, for her political beliefs, and didn't do any comedy at a comedy show that people spent like $100 a ticket at. Funny,
Your
right, bro?
wife went to that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My wife, she went to, I think it was at, what's it called? Amalie Arena in Tampa is where she went and saw it.
Oh,
And,
man.
yeah, it was like $100 a ticket. That's back when she was, before all her political bullshit came out. She was just funny and kind of crude, and, I mean, if you ever want to call her funny, but, a lot of people liked her. And anyway, so yeah, all that other bullshit happened after.
See ya.
So yeah.
Yeah, she had her moments, but I never like found her to be like laugh out loud funny. But I mean, I know that for she had a good run for a while, and then like you said, once she started doing the political stuff, it was just like, yeah, okay, we're done, we're done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Well, we've been kicking it here for about an hour, right, Brooke? Yep. So let's end it on this. Who you guys voting for in the November election? Go.
Third party.
Avi,
dead
go.
serious.
Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Donald Biden.
Cool, man. I'm going to vote for Joe Trump then.
I was going to say, or Joe Trump.
Honestly, you can listen to my daily Pizain's podcast to get my opinion on all things political and find out who I'm really voting for. That's right. Daily, you can catch Pizain's podcast. I'd give you my opinion on the news. That's all I got, man. Hey, you guys got anything else you want to end with?
Man, I wanted to talk about a few things, but hey, Brooks, how far are you on X-Men?
Well, I've got 2 episodes left.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we're in the home stretch with X-Men 97. So I've got another couple episodes left, and I will be finished. And then next time the three of us gather for the big show, we can finally discuss in full this entire season.
well, what do you think so far?
Dude, it's shaping up to be amazing. I can already tell it's just going to be absolutely fucking nuts. I mean, just some of the stuff that's happened in the last couple episodes has just been ridiculous. So I'm fired up to see the last 2 episodes, and that way we can finally talk about it.
Hey, all right, yeah. Then I'll save my comments till you're done. You're caught up.
Yeah, the moment I
right.
get done with the season, I'm sending a text in the group chat. Finally done.
Hell yeah,
done, son.
Are you guys watching Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see the before the silence your phone PSA?
I don't think I did. No.
No, I didn't catch that one.
You guys haven't caught that? It's pretty funny. It's Wolverine breaking the fourth wall, or however
Okay.
they
Right.
say it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'll check it out.
That's
We
that's
we
when you watch it. That's how I go to work every day.
That's
all right.
When they
All
ask
right.
me
is
a
that what gets you
question,
fired up for going to work?
no. Well, when they ask me a question at work, that is my response. The way he acts.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So whenever you guys watch it,
All right. All right. Hey, we still on for tomorrow's pod, Hobby?
yeah,
All
yeah, I'll
right.
have the
Well, you
mic.
heard it.
I have the mic. But I'm waiting for the arm. My brother, he had it somewhere in storage, so he's gonna get it tomorrow.
But you got the mic. You can just hold the mic or whatever, right? That'll be fine.
I ain't holding nothing.
Hold these nuts.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm holding is my nuts, buddy.
Well, you heard it. You heard it straight from the source. Tomorrow we got another episode of Three Bows. This time just two bozos though. Me and Hob going solo again. But
Brooksy,
Brooksy
son of a
boy,
bitch, why can't you go tomorrow?
Brooksy, you son of a bitch. Where are you gonna? Where
Well,
are you
the
going?
the plans that got scuttled last weekend are happening this weekend, so that's why we were Wayne and I were recording tonight.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey. So anyway, so yeah, so that next week the three bozos will reunite again, and we will do a full show, not just one where Javi comes in and swats us in the middle of a Pizain and Brooks show.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
So
Sorry. All right,
it's
man.
okay.
I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, see ya. Added some flavor
man.
to it, so it's all good.
See ya.
See you guys. I'll see you. Wrap it up, guys. Do a couple more things. Do a little couple more segments. I'll see you guys later. See you,
All
Brooks.
right, man.
All right, see you, man.
Hey, tomorrow I'll have that sound effect too, the spinach and eggs. Hey,
All right, man.
the microwave
Hey.
slam from hell and
Oh
back.
God.
bitch.
You get that fucking grand slam from Denny's going.
Yeah.
And he just drops. And you say, all right,
Yep.
whatever.
He's like, I'm out. Peace.
Fucking off.
Oh God, that was so random.
I know. Anyway, Brooks, do you got anything else? I know he said do a couple segments, like I fucking can just pull segments out of my ass like that, but you got anything else going, bud?
No, not really. I mean, I think I had that one thing that I was going to send over. Or that I sent you earlier. I don't know if we really wanted to go over that or not. Or
yeah, why not? Why not? We got time. I'm gonna be chopping the shit out of this thing and editing anyway, so we probably need some more time on there.
yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So Brooks sent me a thing on Instagram about a viral video of Dana White. He's showing a video of a FedEx delivery driver, and he's just like throwing packages, carelessly into the back of a semi, a box truck. And I guess he was just doing it kind of, on his feed. And FedEx came out with a statement that they fired the employee, that they don't, that's not something they support, that for an employee just to recklessly take people's packages like that and not, with care. So that brought a good point that Brooks told me about, that we're always being watched. Always being watched. Everyone has a phone. Big Brother is always watching.
You never know who's going to bust out their phone and start recording. And the thing that struck me when I was watching this was delivery guy was just, I mean, it wasn't just being careless. I mean, he was basically just popping threes like Steph Curry careless. I mean, we're talking like, full form, like he was shooting jump shots with these packages, but he was like flinging them full speed into the back of this box truck. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, dude, like, those are people's things. They paid for this stuff. Maybe they're not all fragile, but there could be some fragile stuff in there, and you're kind of treating it like it's a basketball. Come on, man. Yeah, I can see why FedEx, cut ties with this guy after that. And maybe if Dana White hadn't have taken this video and posted it on his social media account, I guess it was on his Instagram story or something, or Reels or whatever. But even so, it's like I'm kind of glad that it happened, because it's like, dude, if you're going to treat people's stuff that carelessly, maybe you shouldn't be working for FedEx. So I'm not exactly upset about the guy. I mean, sure, it sucks when people lose their jobs, but maybe don't treat people's shit so carelessly. Don't act like Steph Curry popping 3-pointers, with people's packages.
Yeah, no, that guy, he definitely deserved to get fired for that, That's just not doing his job right, and he got caught for it. As simple as that. But like you said, it brought up a good point, though, about how we are always being watched now. And you better be doing your job right, for starters. But sometimes, we could just be living our life, and you're right, somebody pops out a camera in your face and yelling "World Star," and next thing you know, you're a viral video. A lot of Karen videos out there. How many of those women are actual Karens, and how many are just, I don't know, they got really upset, and for rightful reason, but you get a camera shoved in your face right at the wrong time. You didn't see the what preface. Can't even say the fucking word. I sound like Joe Biden. You can't preface that, Yeah, I don't know, man. We're living in some crazy times, Even when we were younger, there weren't cameras everywhere. You could get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even and nowadays everybody, could you imagine having cameras and social media in school when we were in middle school and high school? Like I can't even fathom living in that era with a cell phone handy. I mean, and now of course, people can easily just whip out their phones and start recording God knows what. I mean, stuff that gets recorded nowadays has probably been happening forever, but now that people have a camera on them on their phones, they can just whip out and start recording and make you famous for all the wrong reasons. So it's even more reason to just watch yourself out there, watch what you're doing, you know, live right, work right, don't treat people's packages like basketballs.
Yep. True that. Well, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to the Three Bozos podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and just about every other place you can find a fucking podcast. We're there. So subscribe, download, all that good stuff. Brooksy boy, you got any parting words for the people?
Just keep on listening. If you're listening out there, we appreciate the support, and keep on wherever you can find your podcasts. You'll find us on there, and hope you all have a great weekend and a great week, and we will catch you next time.
Yep, we will catch you next time. Thanks, Brooksy boy. Yippee yo, let's go. See ya.
See ya.